Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims proudly presents Retro Championship Wrestling, a universe using the wrestling's finest PC game invented by Tommy Bogle. And today we have the entire Eastern Circuit card for you. You see it there. Our first match just about ready to get started. And you see that we have 3 title bouts, including the debut of Nick Bockwinkel as world champion as he battles El Santo, who is the Southern champion. And we're going to make this first title defense for Bockwinkel special and give El Santo a crack at the world championship. And greetings, everybody. Big Paulie coming to you in voice only as we get ready to start our first bout, which is already in the ring. If you'll just give me a moment here to clear the decks out, we will get it started. This is a prelim, so no time limit. Both these men coming in with losing records. Kid, who's probably one of the best wrestlers ever under 150 pounds, is 1-2-1. He just went to a draw with the man with the attitude, Wahoo McDaniel. They went to a double DQ in the South. Dick Hutton just recently beat Dory Funk Jr. in a recent contest, so Kid has a rating of 26. Dory Funk Jr. at 53. And our prelim bouts now have no time limit, so we want to see some definite winners and losers here in the East Circuit and in all circuits. And this will be classic rules, classic match type. So if Kid wins, his rating will cut in half to 13, and Dory Funk Jr. will pick up 13 to his score and go to 66. If the reverse happens, then Dory would move to 27 and Kid would pick up 27, so they would change places. A legal elbow triggering a pin chance, as both of these men just feeling each other out. Kid, one of the best wrestlers ever at under 150 pounds, and made a living in the British Isles because they have weight limits in their kind of wrestling. Whereas we in North America have maybe a junior heavyweight class in name only, but definitely a heavyweight division. But in Britain, they do it like boxing, where there are weight classes and so forth. So far, Kid has dominated. He's going for the brass knucks. He's lambasted Kid with it. Oh, Kid is out cold. And Dory Funk Jr. with the win. Nearly a flawless performance for him. And the match time 12:47 as Brass Knuckles gets it done. And we will set up and give you our next bout right after this. Our next bout is in the ring, but let's show you what happened in the North Circuit, the card we did prior to this one. We do think of it as never eat shredded wheat. You know how you remember in school how to remember the directions, never eat shredded wheat, north, east, south, west. That's kind of the order I go in, and we add the indies at the end. So we did the North Circuit. There were no title changes. Ricky Steamboat won by DQ over The Undertaker. The Minnesota Wrecking Crew of Ole and Gene Anderson lost to the Scots when Lars Anderson rang the timekeeper bell, so the Scots have a little surprise for Lars in terms of a mystery opponent, and they will meet at the Indie show this week. It was Danny Hodge by DQ over Harley Race, and The Undertaker returned the favor and interfered in that bout. Jerry Lawler with a surprise easy win over Cowboy Dick Hutton. And in the title matches, the Deucic Riot Squad won by a count out over the champs, the Briscoe brothers. Normally this would trigger a rematch, but with the count out win, the Deucics might wind up with a world title shot, and they'll try to get that. In a rematch of the bout for the Northern title last week, it was Magnum TA Easy, a minute 13 over Billy Joyce. Dusty Rhodes was looking down and out against Stan the Lariat Hansen, but it was Hansen losing to Dusty after a bone-crunching body slam at 12:35. So let me just do the rankings check for this coming bout. Jay and Ricky are 14. So a win could put them in the top 10 here if they win cleanly, and the Von Brauners are 16 right now. And since you know the participants, we'll go ahead and get this started. Von Brauners took the Masked Men Wrestling's 1 and 2 to a time limit draw, where Jay and Ricky lost the title bid to Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. I did that already. What am I doing that again for? And let me just check to make sure we're rolling. We are. Okay, let's start this one. Another no time limit bout. Oh, and we have mayhem right off the bat as the Von Brauners go nuts and start nailing everything moving, including Youngblood, Steamboat, and the referee. And that's going to be a very quick DQ win for Youngblood and Steamboat. That will not get them lower than 10. That will get them to 11. And the Von Brauners are going to move to 19. But this one was a very quick melee, and Youngblood and Steamboat are your winners. So we will just move along to bout number 3. So if you are interested in Wrestling Scientist and you want to check out more imaginary action from it, you could go visit the Wrestling's Finest Pro Wrestling Game Delphi page. You see it there. I'm sure if you typed in Delphi Forums Wrestling's Finest, you will find it. And we have a few posters, myself included, and if you're looking for my post, it's under, of course, Retro Championship Wrestling. So we're getting our next bout in the ring, which is going to be Billy Riley up against Horst Hoffman. Hoffman is the former Eastern title holder who beat the current holder Roland Bach for the championship, and then he lost the title to Bach, and Bach became a two-time champion. So we will set this up in front of you. Kind of vamping here for a moment because of the quickness of our first bout. Riley just lost a bid to become World Junior Light Heavyweight Champion, Junior Heavyweight Champion to Antonio Inoki. But Riley is still rated in the top 10, or was at the start of the week. If anybody ties on the same number, we just go to what I call reputation, their singles class rating, and if that's a tie, I draw a random tiebreaker number, or I did at the start of this endeavor, and I'll do it again every year. And so if we should have a tie, we have an ultimate way of breaking the tie. So Riley came in 9th, and Horst Hoffman shouldn't be too far down. Yeah, he is 33. He is the former champion. And if you're wondering if we do pay-per-views, we'll do 2 big events at the end of each year. We do a Tournament of Champions for the singles, which we're going to call the Vogel Cup. And we do a tournament for the tag teams. It'll be a 16-man and then a 16-team event, a Swiss tournament. And it'll be the 6, in singles you have 8 champions, and in tag you have 6, and then it'll be former world champions, former junior heavyweight champions, former brass knucks champs, and former regional champs, all in order. So that's how we will do that. So our next bout in the ring, Riley 3-1-3, Hoffman 2-4-2. And Riley, a very technical but a bit of a plodding wrestler, doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything that takes effort. Just everything he does takes a while. He just focuses in on making the rest holds as painful as possible. And Hoffman off to a slow start as this match begins. And I will just again double check because I didn't turn my little phone app on. See if we're still rolling, and we are. Sorry about that, folks, but I only have one monitor to look at, so I can't look at both of them. A knee drop, setting up the real first big pin chance, and that was Hoffman on the Riley, but Riley's going to kick out of it. It's one of the reasons why I went to no time limit rules for the prelim matches, so guys like Riley will always wind up getting in the 30-minute draws, and this way makes it fair for everybody. We don't have anybody doing this on television, so it's not like these matches have to be over by a certain time. Pin attempts are even at 1-1, and we're almost 15 minutes into the bout. Now we have just crossed that threshold. So this bout might take a while. Hoffman does not have a manager, even though he, as former champion, can have one. I'm just checking, see that's from me. Okay. Side suplex. That gets it done. So Riley has lost 2 in a row, and Hoffman's going to move up to 17 on his rating, and it's going to move Riley out of the top 20 to 26th. So Riley loses and is pinned on a side suplex at 19 minutes 3 seconds, about 3 stars, which has no outcome on the standings as things go. So we'll set up for our first bout of the former World Heavyweight Champion Andre the Giant since losing the title to Nick Bockwinkel, and he will face the East German sensation Gedeon Gita when we return. Hello, everybody. The recording date on this is March 18th, the morning of March 18th, 2026. Bit of a cold morning here in Florida. Hopefully the cold will go away after this last little cold snap. It was 23 here on February 1st, which is unusually cold for us. This morning it was about 45. Had to turn the heat on in the camper. Living here in eastern Lake County, Florida, just east of regular Leesburg. This is what they call unincorporated Lake County, Florida. Kind of think of it as how most of Las Vegas is not really Las Vegas, but in Paradise, Nevada. So I am setting up for our fourth bout, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Andre the Giant, battling Gedeon Gita, who is a junior heavyweight. These two met a few weeks ago when Andre was world champ, and Gita had earned the shot at Andre. Andre could be in line for a rather immediate rematch with Bockwinkel should things go well. Gita, I haven't done a lot of research on Gedeon Gita. They have him as a babyface. I have him as a tweener because he was from East Germany, and in how many, in the historical context of East Germany, how many times is somebody from East Germany going to travel the world and be a hero? I don't think so. So I use him as a tweener, kind of like a technical heel. And we are setting up. And as I said, this is the first time we've seen Andre since losing the World's Championship. And Gita is going to have to run circles around Andre. Gita is 1-2. He does hold a recent pinfall win over Billy Robinson. But Andre the Giant, 7-2-2. He had an early loss to El Santo in the early days of RCW, and El Santo was being talked about as an opponent to Andre, and this is why he's getting the shot, even though he is the Southern champ, against Nick Bockwinkel in our main event tonight. Bobby Heenan, just saw him weaseling around the arena. He is the manager of Nick Bockwinkel. He won that right by taking Nick Bockwinkel, Ray Stevens, to the World Tag Team Championship early in the days of RCW. Let me just get the numbers. Andre is 8 right now. Clean pinfall will move him to 4. And he would be ahead of Roland Bach if he stays the same. But he's not going to stay the same, of course, because he has a match against Bert Azarati. And Gita is down a ways. And we began rating everybody by their class ratings. And that was the start. That's how they get the original ordinals, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. And Gita is 28. So we won't fall too far if he loses by Andre, which is what I think will happen. Are we on the right page? We are. Well, I have my app up. You have your app up, dummy. So, yeah. Okay, so this is our bout. Again, no time limit. Cut rule is not waived for prelims. We'll just say that right away. And a chop by Gita starts the bout, and Andre just looks at him like, was that supposed to hurt? Gita. Andre with a drop kick. Oh my goodness. Good thing the ring is reinforced. Rare to see Andre. And early in his career, he could do acrobatic moves. Butt splash. And that nearly got a pin, but Gita found the wisdom to use the ropes. I gotta check my match commentary file because there is some missing. There's some gaps in it. Body slam by Andre. Gita went for a suplex. Yeah, he's really gonna suplex Andre the Giant, right? Elbow. That staggered Andre, but Andre kicks out. Andre with a kind of a macho man move, jumping from the ring apron onto the arena floor. You look at Andre back when he was wrestling in France in the early '70s. He could do some high flying moves, but when he became more famous and went to America, Vince McMahon Sr. said, "Well, you don't have to do that over here." So Andre dominating as one might expect, a body slam. Gita is going to have to think of a new plan here. Sticking and moving would not be a. He got him off his feet and landed an elbow drop on Andre, but Andre back up. And Gita was given the e-ticket down to the arena floor from the ring apron as Andre just moved the ropes and thus moved Gita. Andre just working the arm, kicking. A neck hold by Giddy. That really takes some skill to get around that neck of Andre. So Andre just being Andre, just dominating. Looking forward to getting a rematch. Oh, he's shaking his hand. Oh, he's injured his hand. Now he won't see action until next week. So that those 2 days that he's going to need to mend his hand are going to be inconsequential. As we move on, we've gone past 20 minutes, so Gita has lasted 20 minutes against Andre. Gita just also recently lost to George Kidd, who you just saw lose to Dory Funk Jr. Get red suplex, yeah, you're not going to get Andre off his feet. I think Andre's a little delusional here, and Andre just grinding with the headlock, taking liberties in the corner. But Gita is just hanging on. Running power slam by Andre. Gita finding a way to kick out. And Andre just threw Gita over the top rope. Did not look like it was intentional, but the referee believes so. And look at this, fans. Gita with a DQ win over Andre the Giant, who doesn't look like he has any focus right now. And the match time 27 minutes 50 seconds, and I'm sure Andre will run a rematch, and I'm sure Andre is not going to have trouble finding finding further matches as he sinks down in the ratings. Gita is going to move up to 21 as we whack 3/4 off of the rating for Gita and add that to Andre. Andre will be 15. So take a picture of the next ratings with Andre out of the top 10, which is looking like is going to be the case here. And we will set up our Eastern Tag Title bout right after this. You're watching Retro Championship Wrestling on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. So here's the look ahead to the next few days here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. Some more Time Travel League baseball for you tomorrow. This is the working schedule. Things can change. Often do. Friday we'll have another game from College Basketball 75-76 from December 27th, 1975. Now, the tentative date is Sunday, but probably no later than Monday. We'll be back, recap Week 10 of Retro Championship Wrestling for you and get you started for Week 11. We'll do a card of the week format and then a kind of if any of you ever seen This Week in Pro Wrestling with Gordon Soley and Joe Pedicino. Joe was a nice guy, by the way. I lived in Marietta, Georgia, and I exchanged posts with him back in the old days of America Online. He was a very nice man. Uh, Retro Championship Wrestling will be coming to you. The weekly recap will be coming to you either Sunday or Monday. And with that, let's get you over to our title bout, the first of 3 title bouts we have for you on this card. Excuse me while I whip this out, as Cleavon Little said in Blazing Saddles. This is for the Eastern Tag Team titles. There is a 60-minute time limit. Well, there should have been. I did not set up the card properly, so we'll just do it again while I introduce the combatants. Cut rule is waived, which is probably a good thing when you have Ric Flair in the ring. It'll be Valentine and Flair up against the High Flyers of Greg Gagne and Jumping Jim Brunzell. Flyers came in with a number 12 rating. And Valentine and Flair have had some DQ losses, which has held them back a little bit, being considered among the top tag teams in RCW. Otherwise, they would be higher. Just double check. Yeah, I should look down at my app and see that the displayed feed is up. So Valentine and Flair 1-1-4. And these two just met recently and went to a double countout. So they are at it again. The Road Warriors losing to the Road Warriors beating the High Flyers very early in RCW. So they haven't seen a lot of action, but they are still highly regarded and highly ranked. That's why you see a lot of teams that haven't had any matches ranked high. Because they were rated high in the game and they live off that reputation until they get in the ring and the bell rings. So off we go with this championship match. And again, the cut rule is waived. It is not checked off, as you see there. Reverse chop by Flair there, and that triggers a pin chance, but not successfully. Foreign object used by either Valentine or Flair, and it backfired. Double X handled by Gagne on to Flair, and that does not succeed. Flair will get a title shot in the South if El Santo is unsuccessful in winning the world title tonight. But if El Santo wins the title, he'll be part of the 30-man battle royal. People will be coming from all over the circuits of RCW looking for that Southern title. And a pin, reverse chop to the chest by Flair, really rattles Brunzell, and we have a very quick verdict in this bout as Valentine and Flair are going to win at 8 minutes even. And that is going to set up our semi-main event, which will be coming to you right after this. Okay, so this bout coming up will be for the Eastern Championship. One fall, 60-minute time limit. Challenger is Bert Azzarati, who we just saw in the Southern Circuit in an unsuccessful bid to unseat El Santo, who we're going to see in our main event. And Roland Bach is a 2-time Eastern champion from Germany. He comes in 5 wins, 1 loss, no draws. Azzarati is 0-2-2, but he's the kind of guy that can hurt you when you wrestle him, so Bach will have to be on his A game. Islington Hercules. Roland Bach was in a Gerard Depardieu movie in the early 80s called Hurricane Rosie. And parental discretion advised if you watch that movie, because all of Jerry Depardieu's movies are like that. Body slam by Bach. I'll just leave it at that. And then Azzarati comes around, tries the same on Bach, but neither can get a pin. Only 2 pin attempts at the bout so far. Arm drag by Azzarati. That leads to a surprising pinning predicament. As I record this on March 18th, there were a few rumors floating around the internet Now take that as you will that Jim Ross had died, but I haven't seen any more on that. I think it would have been all over the place if he had passed away. Fighting colon cancer, God bless him. A slam by Bach doesn't get it done. Bach won the Eastern title initially by defeating Mick McManus, who in the early days of RCW was also a junior heavyweight contender, losing to Lou Thez when he was the world's junior heavyweight title holder. So this is a back and forth bout. Of course, Azzarati took El Santo to a 60-minute draw. And a pin. Suplex gets it done surprisingly, and Roland Bach really can't move up, but we're going to give him a rating of 2 and see who he's tied with, and he could be a challenger for Nick Bockwinkel's heavyweight title soon. But we brought El Santo in for this first initial defense for Bockwinkel. So Bach is going to win. Azzarati is not going to move too far back because it's only a 2-spot move up for Bach. Azzarati, there's a house minimum when you lose by pin, you have to move up 4. So Azzarati is going to go from 21 to 25 on the loss. 3.5 stars is what the match got. A good technical battle. And we're going to move on to our main event right after this. So our world title bout in the ring right now. We'll be using the Champions card for Nick Bockwinkel, rated at 229, which is pretty high. And Bobby Heenan we're going to use the World Champion card for Bobby Heenan. And he gets El Santo. El Santo ranked number 1. His number 1 rating, so a loss would put him at 5 if it's a clean loss. This has a 60-minute time limit. The blood rules are waived. Should be an epic bout. Bockwinkel with a wave of confidence now. He's a world champion, but he's immediately cut as Santo runs him into the ring post in an early out-of-the-ring skirmish. 1:06 in, and the champion cut early. Remember, if El Santo wins, he becomes the world champion, of course, but he'll have to vacate his Southern Championship. And we'll have a battle royal for the designation of the new world champion. Ric Flair will be a part of it. And look at that. Look at that, folks. This bout is over quickly. Heenan took no chances. Handed Bockwinkel that foreign object that felled Andre the Giant last week. Blasted a small chain on the hand of Bockwinkel, nailed Santo with it, and this is over already, just 5 minutes in. Bockwinkel is going to keep his championship, and he is going to head to the South Circuit, and he might get a rematch with El Santo. He might get a rematch with El Santo, as I'm sure the Southern Commission will not take kindly to the use of some foul play in this championship bout here in the East Circuit. So this is surprisingly over quickly, and El Santo will have to defend his world title against his Southern title against Ric Flair in the South Circuit. We'll recap the action in the Southwest and Indy circuits come Sunday or maybe Monday. It'll be all right. And we will be with you then with some more RCW. But for now, this is Big Paulie. Godspeed. God bless. We will do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.